Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat, you're watching iGyaan, and the OnePlus 6T is finally in the house. It comes in this really nice unboxing experience bag. It says never settle on one side, and it does say OnePlus 6T over here, so we know that it's the OnePlus 6T. Let's quickly unbox it and see what all is inside the box. According to OnePlus, this is going to be a really good unboxing experience, so let's quickly find out. So it looks like we have a brown cardboard box. I'm going to open that up. There is yet another box inside this box. So box inside a box inside a box. And it appears to finally be the OnePlus box. So you can see that it has the OnePlus logo over here, a barcode over here. Apparently it's number 223. But let's quickly open this up. And right there, the first thing we have is a card or a pamphlet, sort of, so to speak, where it talks about the usual things from OnePlus. We had a single mission with our latest device to share the best tech. You can pause it and read it if you want to do that. But this is basically, it says this kit will give you a sense of effort and commitment that we devote to all our products. So let's quickly check it out. It also shows me what all is inside the kit on the back. So I can see the OnePlus 6T over here. I can already see that it has a smaller notch, the teardrop notch. And I can also see that the fingerprint sensor is missing, so it's probably on the device or on the screen. I can see that there are USB Type-C headphones, so everything is more or less detailed over here. It says the box has a few things, including a reviewer's guide, which might come in handy. And okay, so the first thing in the box is what appears to be the reviewer's guide. This has some picture samples. The exact samples that were leaked are over here. And some details about the camera, lots of close-ups, nice shots of the phone. But you don't need to look at all of that because you're going to be checking out the device itself. So we have another box over here, and this appears to be the cases. So we've got all the fun cases from OnePlus's stable. And we've also got a pair of Type-C bullet earphones inside the box as well. I'm gonna check these out real quick. So that's what they look like, really nice matte finish. A little capsule over here, which will probably have the additional ear tips. So simple, basically they are the Bullets earphones from OnePlus, but now they come with a Type-C adapter. Next up, we have the box of the phone itself. It says OnePlus Community, a collection of individuals possessed of a tremendous understanding and superior taste of the finest technology. What's most important is that they're a part of what we do, and that includes you, which means me, which is nice. It says unlock the speed. I can see the fingerprint icon over there. It's on the screen. We already know it. I've got the mirror black over here. It's 128 gigabyte. This time around, there's no 64 gigabyte. According to them, a lot of people were not buying the 64 gigabyte, so the companies decided to remove it completely. So only 128 gigabyte and 256 gigabyte. The price on the box is now XXXX.00 because the price will be revealed in the India launch, which is tomorrow, which is the 30th of October. So you can stay tuned for the price and detailed information on iGyaan, as well as we'll update it in the description below along with the Amazon link. So there's a microfiber cleaning cloth also in the red color. I really like the red color. And then what appears to be sort of like a suction mount with a glue side. So you can basically put your phone on this and sort of take shots, I believe. So they've given it to reviewers, but we already have things to do that. What they've also included here is supposedly a light box. So this allows you to sort of prop up the box like this, and then you can take pictures of the phone inside. That's what they want you to do, basically put the phone like this and take pictures in the light box, but we don't need it because we already have a studio of our own. But let's quickly unbox this. I want to get rid of this plastic that's on the top. So OnePlus makes a big deal about the fact that their boxes can be opened with just one hand, so I'm going to attempt that right now. Well, it does work. So that's the phone. inside the box. You can already see that there is a fingerprint sensor icon right on the display. I can also see the teardrop notch, no fingerprint sensor on the back. The same mirror black that we are used to. We saw it with the OnePlus 6, so not a lot of differences there. I'm just going to place it to the side. I'm going to go further in. I'm expecting the same things. There's probably a case inside here, and I can already see it. So a clear case for the back, almost in a faded black finish, charcoal finish, and then some documentation stickers probably. So you've got a SIM ejector tool. We've also got some safety information. It's a quick start guide. So basically it tells you about the phone. Some stickers, never settle stickers, and that's it. Okay, so inside the box I found an invitation letter. It says a word from Pete, OnePlus CEO, and it's hidden behind this. It says, let me be the first to welcome you to the OnePlus community. Like you, we are driven by a passion for technology. What sets our tech apart is that we imagine, build, and polish it hand in hand with you. So the whole letter is there. I'm going to leave it again on the screen for you guys to read it if you want. They always include a letter inside the box. Okay, we've got the Type-C cable, the dash charging brick. So we've got the standard big dash charging brick over here. And then also, unique thing inside the box is the USB-C dongle. This will allow you to connect your traditional 3.5mm headphones or any other audio accessories, auxiliary ports, etc. You can connect with this dongle. It is not going to work with standard headphones because the standard 3.5mm jack is now missing from the OnePlus 6T. This is the mirror black color. We've seen it in the past. I'm going to get rid of these plastic stickers on the back, as well as the fingerprint ID on the front. It says, to maximize the performance of our in-display fingerprint sensor, we recommend using screen protectors from OnePlus and official partners. So how the in-display fingerprint sensor works is that there is a green light transmitted by the display so that the sensor can read your finger. OnePlus is using the 4th generation of in-display fingerprint sensor. So they claim to be the fastest, if not one of the fastest. So I have seen this in action actually, and it is pretty fast, but I wanted to test it out myself and see how quickly it works. Although from some of the other devices that I've had the in-display fingerprint sensor, with software updates, they have become much better. So the Vivo Nex, for example, now quickly unlocks with the in-display fingerprint sensor. On the OnePlus 6T, I want to see how it works. So before we power on the device, we'll do a quick one over. So on the front is now a teardrop notch. So that big notch is gone. It looks nicer. You get much more screen real estate. Only a small bezel at the bottom of the phone. Looks absolutely brilliant. On the front, on the top, is a 16 megapixel sensor with a 1 micron pixel size. It's the same thing that you had on the OnePlus 6. The same sensor on the OnePlus 6T. It's a sensor made by Sony. Now below that, the display is changed, of course, because of the layout, so there's no notch. It is a 6.41-inch AMOLED display with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio, so you do get a larger aspect ratio. Also, the display does have a 2340 by 1080 pixel resolution, so it's still on the full HD spectrum. Of course, it becomes bigger because this aspect ratio changes. The display is still a full HD display. It doesn't go into 2K or anything beyond that. One thing you would be really happy to know is that the front now uses Gorilla Glass 6 and also comes with a pre-installed screen protector. So not only do you get Gorilla Glass 6 on the front, you do get a pre-installed screen protector. Now on the bottom of the phone, the 3.5mm headphone jack is gone. It's gone. Get used to it. On the bottom, you can see the USB Type-C port flanked on either side by symmetrical grills. The microphone is on the right one. The speakerphone is on the left one. On the right of the phone, you have the power button and the status change switch. So you can turn on notifications or off notifications. It's a quick slider that allows you to jump between types of notifications and sounds that you want on the device. So on the top is a noise cancellation microphone, and on the left is where your SIM tray is. There is no micro SD card expandability, even though a lot of people were talking about it. And you do have the volume buttons. So on the back are the same dual sensors. We've got a 16 megapixel f1.7 aperture, and we've got a 20 megapixel f1.7 aperture. Both of them are exactly the same as the OnePlus 6. You can also see the LED flash. The cameras now record 4K at 60 frames per second. And you can see the OnePlus logo, no fingerprint sensor on the back, nothing else, absolutely clean back. The back is still glass, so it's still prone to breakage, but covers and cases are readily available for OnePlus devices, so it shouldn't be a problem. So let's quickly set this up. Terms and conditions, you have no options but to agree. I'm going to skip and add the fingerprint sensor real quick. I'm going to use a super secure password, which is going to save my phone from security threats. Here is where the fingerprint sensor is on the device. And it does vibrate the same way that it does on traditional fingerprint sensors, so you know what your setup is going to be like. So now the fingerprint has been added. The screen gestures from the good old CyanogenMod mod days are still there. And then you also have screen calibration. A lot of people had issues with the color reproduction on the screens. So you do have the ability to switch from DCI-P3 to sRGB to an adaptive mode, and also you can custom select the color. I'm going to leave it on default right now, but I'm going to talk about this in the full review because there's a lot more that you can control on the display now. So let's quickly now test out the fingerprint sensor. So it's here, and the green light, it is absolutely really blazing quick. And this time it didn't work, but the second time it did. So it's again a hit or miss, but when it does work, it's super fast. It's much faster than the other devices that we've seen. Definitely that's there, but sometimes it does get stuck. So it'll still take some getting used to. It's still not one of those fingerprint sensors where you can use the whole screen to unlock the device. You have to be in a specific place, and if you manage to hit that particular spot correctly, the fingerprint sensor will sort of unlock the device immediately. So as soon as the phone turns on, you're greeted with a familiar OnePlus Oxygen OS user interface. It's really fast and responsive, and you can really appreciate the top additional screen real estate that you get because the notch is no longer there. And this notch, honestly, is much less of a bother than a traditional notch, and you almost barely even notice it. So I much prefer this to a full-size notch, especially if the phone brand is not putting in 3D face mapping tech, including an infrared blaster, etc. A smaller notch makes more sense, and it should become the norm going forward. The phone is nicely rounded off on the edges, and it is 185 grams in terms of weight. It's only 8.2 millimeters in terms of thickness. Even though OnePlus has not gotten this certified, they have improved the water resistance of the device. So even if they don't say it officially, the device is now equivalent to an IP67 rating, and that means that if you drop it in water for about 1 meter for about 15 to 20 minutes, it should survive, but there are no promises. There has been no certification. Now, to take advantage of the full screen, I would recommend going into the settings panel and into the gestures to turn on navigation bar gestures. If you do prefer a single button layout, you can do that as well. Or like me, if you prefer the full navigation gestures, you should enable those. For those who will be using the in-display fingerprint sensor, there is an ability to tap to wake the ambient display, which will allow you to quickly access the fingerprint sensor without needing to press the power button or without needing to fully wake the screen up by double tapping on the display. So exactly like last time, the phone runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset. It is an octa-core chipset with up to 2.8 GHz on the clock. With it comes the Adreno 630 GPU, and for RAM, you do get to choose between 6 GB and 8 GB options, and the RAM is LPDDR4X. Storage is either 128 GB or 256 GB. It is UFS 2.1 two-lane storage, and you do not get 64 GB options this time around. According to the company, not a lot of people were buying the 64 GB, so they decided to remove it. Inside is also a 3700 mAh battery and a standard dash charging. What we've seen in the past few devices is available on the phone. The speaker is still a single bottom firing speaker. They could have made it stereo using the earpiece. They haven't done that. So it's still a bottom firing speaker, but it now sits on the left of the charging port instead of on the right. If you turn on the camera, you'll see that the camera mode is almost identical. You also do get Google Lens. You can set that up right off the bat. It'll allow you to recognize text, objects, or even locations directly from your camera, allowing you to get more information on things settings, allowing you to copy text from books or notes, things that you can do easily. But also inside the camera mode is a new night feature. In the night mode, using a little bit of software magic paired up with some hardware capability, the phone now captures really bright low light environment shots. Now this feature is presently only available in the OnePlus 6T, and because the hardware is exactly the same on the OnePlus 6, the night mode capability will be pushed out to OnePlus 6 devices in a later update. The video recording capability on the main camera remains at 4K and at 60 frames per second as an option is available, which means that you can record a smooth video with the main camera. You do get optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization. You of course get portrait shots and the ability to manipulate the bokeh in the shots. This is something which comes standard in the OnePlus devices. We've seen it in the OnePlus 6 and it works great. It's the same on the OnePlus 6T. The front-facing camera also has the same sensor that we saw on the OnePlus 6. You do get 16 megapixels f2 on the aperture. Again, you do get the ability to take portrait shots using only software, and we find that the image quality is more or less identical to what we saw with the OnePlus 6. A little bit of improvement, I believe, in the edge mapping of the subject on the front-facing camera, but like I said, we're going to be testing it out in depth and coming back with a better result. We did run benchmarks on the OnePlus 6T and we found that Antutu scores are closer to the 3 lakh spectrum or 300,000 on Antutu, and Geekbench scores are also on the screen right now. So overall performance wise, the device manages to keep up with the name. It is really fast and smooth, at least out of the box. Of course, over a period of time, we'll have to see how the performance holds out. The gaming mode automatically turns on whenever you launch a game which is compatible, and it'll allow you to give you some custom capabilities during gaming. So you can turn on answering phone calls via the speaker so that while you're playing the game, you're not disturbed. And you also have the ability to send all notifications into a small window so that it doesn't disturb you while you're gaming. It's a nifty feature, especially for people who like gaming a lot. It can come in really handy. Also, gaming, as you would expect, is smooth and ultra responsive. Wi-Fi networks seem to be improved on the OnePlus 6T. We're sitting in a corner of the office where usually Wi-Fi reception is weak, but the gaming on PUBG, for example, seems to be ultra smooth. So I believe there is an improvement on the Wi-Fi networks as well. So that was it for the OnePlus 6T unboxing experience. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. Stay tuned for the full review of the device, which should be out shortly. And this has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.
I don't know if what we had was just a waste of time. You got 70,000 friends, but I am one of them.